Apexxology. Speak to y'all today about different strokes for different folks, different cultures, you know what I mean? In my experience. Father God.
I saw the ocean, then I saw you. In my sky, that's why I climb so high to see you. Can you see the words rolling off my tongue? You've got the touch, baby, cause you're the one. I can taste the smoke rolling off your lips. I inhale, see the stars, and then I smell your kiss. Show me your galaxy.
Yo, Apexxology. Today I'm going to talk to y'all about different cultures and how, through my experiences, I realized that it's different strokes for different folks. I'm going to speak to y'all. I got a little paperwork here to remind me because lately doing so much forward searching that I got a brain strange, man, neuron strange and all that, man. So I'm going to speak to y'all today about different cultures and about life and death and the importance of life and death, and if you want to call it death, energy, solar energy is continuance. It's next. It's continuance. It goes on, moves forward. We don't deal with death. Come to share with y'all how y'all been dealt a hand of death, and y'all been dealt a hand of black magic in the form of white magic. I was asked earlier this AM, do I practice magic? And my answer was yes, I practice magic. I practice white magic, purest magic. I told you I tap into the source. White magic, or you can look at me, view me as an ancient magi, like you see in the Bible. There were magi's. The shin came later when you get magicians and, you know, different cultures, Phoenicians and Aryans and all kind of ends, Europeans and all that kind of stuff. I can't quite trace back where that part of it comes from. But the magi, the magicians, were sorcerers who tapped into the main source and used white magic for good, for healing. Magic, and y'all got to get ready for this. Love is magic. Hope is magic. Faith is magic. All of that is magic. You just been dealt a hand to think magic is something bad. Nothing wrong with magic. If you had learned it in its original way, you would not be looking at the word magic as something to trick you. Now you look at it as something that can trick you. All of this is people mastering, I can't say mastering elements because you don't master elements, just learning the elements, the manipulation of elements, how to transfer certain metals and how to turn metals or copper into gold. These are all sciences that you get taught as a solar god, or when you enter this plane. You know these things. You're a magi. You're top magi. As long as you're not taking this and using it for manipulation, love is beautiful. I administer love. Love is all powerful. Is healing. It's just a beautiful thing. Now, if you got a person in love with you, and that's beautiful. Now, if you see that person is in love with you, and you can get him to do anything you want him to do, that's the magic part of it. That's when it becomes black magic. That's dark. That's the dark side. Okay? So let me run through some cultures, and y'all going to be surprised on how, through my experiences of my readings of myths or ancient doctrines or anything translated millions of years ago, there's nothing to believe. These are just some of the cultures and some of the readings that I've come across. It's a culture. First culture I'm going to talk about is a culture of beings. I'm not going to get the name right. Feces or something like that. It's an ancient culture. These beings recognize and understand there's a God. They understand there's a powerful, positive source. And they know that this source is all good all the time. So they feel no need or no threat, have to be under a threat from this source because God is good all the time. God would never hurt you. Good can't come out of his position. Knowing that, what they do is they send praise to the devil. Or, in recognizing negativity that can hurt them, they try to offer up offerings to who we would call the devil, which is evil spirits, to kind of tame the evil spirit, to not attack, to not hurt them, show it some kind of respect, because they understood that this negative was a part of positive, yet separate, but it was a balance. So they didn't understand having hope, faith, or nothing, knowing that there was a positive source, and knowing that positive source they can always tap into. So they didn't feel no need to worship a God, but they did feel a need to, quote unquote, send praise to evil for balance. Because God won't hurt them. The evil will hurt you. You understand what I'm saying? It's like somebody in your family borrowed money from the mob. And you know, that's the devil. They dealt with the devil. But you got to go and deal with these people, try to pay that debt off because they will hurt your son. Okay? Nobody else is looking to hurt him. So negativity is always looking to hurt. So there was a group of beings or civilization of beings who sent all praise to evil just to keep the balance. That's something I read. Another culture is a culture way back. I think this goes into pre-Mayans or whatever. And this culture, these are true writings. I can't tell y'all where I got them from. I'm just 30 years of straight reading, and when I was into research and doing all that, it just, all of this stuff is still, in my mind. It's already been processed through my brain. It's in my mind. It's just there. I just got to conjure it up, like I got to go into different dimensions to get future information. What we would call basketball, these beings been playing. This ancient culture been playing. They would put two baskets on each side of a field or yard, similar to basketball hoops. And I'm not sure if I read they were using actually a dead cut off head as the ball or a rock or something. But you had to win the game. And the winner of the game, that team gets to get slaughtered and killed. All their heads get to get cut off and they get to get sent to the next life. And here's the thing. They played their heart out. You know how you would play not to win? No, it was an honor to play hard, win, and get killed. This was a culture that I read about. The winner of the game, and I mean, you could be down by one with 1 second. You really gonna try to get a ball to your Jordan so he can really score so y'all can win. Y'all are gonna celebrate like Golden State, like Lakers, back to back to back. To be honored, to be slaughtered, because these people didn't fear death. They knew that life and death was similar, yin and yang, good and evil. You have to know how to tame it. That's another culture I read about. Another solar culture that I know about is us, that I tell y'all before. I'm going to throw this one in. We knew not evil. When we manifest the solar beings, we lived millions of years on this planet, not even knowing what, we was not introduced to the negative part. The solar beings protected us all of that. We lived in biospheres. We didn't have trouble amongst ourselves. If you got a group of beings that you're reading about that had telepathy, and you never read there was telepathy police, it's because they couldn't. If I got telepathy and you got telepathy, the minute you think I'm doing something wrong, I should be able to say, yo, you out of sync, man, and that's it. I should know what you're doing. You don't give a group of beings telepathy that knowingly could be thinking bad stuff. You understand that? So where would the telepathy police be at? They'd be like, stop, you made a bad thought. Come here, you're getting arrested. Like the one of them Tom Cruise movies. I don't know if it was Minority Report, where they could future tell what you're going to do. Then you'd be messed up. So why give a group of beings telepathy that you know could have evil thoughts? They didn't have evil thoughts. The solar beings lived millions of years. We didn't have that doctrine of no devil coming over to us, introducing us to nothing. We lived as agriculturists. We lived building monolithic structures. We didn't even have problems amongst ourselves. If we had problems amongst ourselves, we would just sit with one another until the vibe got right, to not bring it around the other people. But we lived for millions of years uninterrupted by evil. Just like when you hear the Mayan civilization was taken away. They lived uninterrupted. When the solar gods thought that they were going to be interrupted by evil, they took them away. So they never understood or never dealt with evil. If you got a beef, come to your home, you send the kids out of there. You beef, boom, 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 take care of everything, bring the kids back. They never knew that her house was under threat. They never knew evil. So that was the solar beings. Another another story I came across was, y'all gonna find this familiar. This is way before Bible. And remember when I'm telling you this story, there's no such thing as an America or a Bible. We talking, man, millions of years back. You understand this? Where there's a story of a prodigal son. There was 3 sons. First son, second son, third son. The other two sons wanted to stay in the solar realms and take care of their, solar parents and everything like that. Their solar father, the head of all, head archetype. Let's just say God. The first son, the prodigal son, always got curious. He always wanted to remove himself from the realms and wander down. And he was granted this. This is the story I told y'all about in your manifestations. It was not a fall from grace, like you read. The 200 fallen angels, and God and his fought against Michael, and the dragon fought against the dragon, and neither did the dragon prevail, and he was cast into the earth, and his 200 fallen angels with him. That's not our doctrine. That's Anunnaki doctrine. We wanted to come out of curiosity and explore the realms, which was descend down into each planet. And like I tell you, as he manifests down in each planet, there was a solar being there that he had to live with for what we would call, years, millions of years, cycles, to get different gifts. You get love on Mercury, you get love, or, hope on one thing, courage on another planet. I don't know, things like that. So that's why you manifest down out of curiosity, to learn, to go and explore. But before you got to the realm, you was going to ultimately be on 3D, which is Earth, to really play out all your, whatever you want to call them, sins or whatever, before you ascend and come back up into the one. And that's what happened. This prototype, this prodigal son, but his father made him promise to teach love when you get out there. Teach love, teach happiness, teach forgiveness, teach the arts, teach skills, because you're going to be equipped with all of this. Then you'll be able to come back and share with us the experiences. He wasn't supposed to remove himself from that realm. He was supposed to stay in accord and not go and have the experience, because you'll never fall off if you continue to stay in the blessings and the essence of your archetype, or God. So the prodigal son went forth and had all these experiences and manifestations onto the planet, where he received love, where he received courage, where he received skill, where he received the arts, where he received a passionate heart of forgiveness. And the prodigal son went into the third realm, the earth, and became a shaman teacher, trying to share all he knew. And as he ascended back up into each realm to go back, he had to give up these gifts and go back into one. And when he got back, after the third cycle, 3 days, after the third cycle, his father was so happy that he had survived it, and that the prodigal son had returned, that he gave a banquet or a feast for the returning of his son. The other 2 sons wanted to know why he wasn't being punished for what he did, for leaving like that. And the father had to explain, like I will explain to y'all. When your hell here fell from grace, you got it translated wrong. If someone reading about your family and they come back and ask you, say, Dad, man, your daughter, she was doing good, but when she turned 17, the book says, she left the house. And you explain to her with a laughter that says, no, not left the house or fell from grace like that. She went on to experience college and to experience life after this house. And if she ever failed or whatever, she was always welcome to come back. And as a parent, if my child has to come back, I'm glad I still have a place for her, and that she survived, had the experiences, and came back. So it wasn't a falling from grace. It was an exploration into life, to experience life. That's why we created. You understand that? So your fall from grace wasn't what you thought. It wasn't a sin or nothing like that. It was your curiosity to want to descend down into different planets where you were equipped with what you would need it necessary to hit the earth. And that's why I told you got your blessings when you descended here. You have to know how to activate your blessings and use them. When people say, I'm blessed, yes, you are. You already been blessed. You're not getting blessed again while you're here. You just got to manifest your blessings and know how to use them and know what your blessings are. So the prodigal son didn't return. They had a banquet for him, and his father told his other 2 sons that we're going to celebrate his life. He's back. Rather than punishing him, my son has returned. Thus you get a story of a man called Jesus, who's a forgiver, went through the earth teaching forgiveness, 3 cycles in 3 days. He died, came back 3 days. That's where they're all pulling all of this stuff from. All right, this is ancient, but this is, if I'm reading this and we're admitting we're not in a Bible cycle millions of years before Bible, where do you think I think they're getting all this from? All right, so that's the story of the prodigal son. Another finding that I came across. Secrets of Adolpha was in ancient holy tablets. Read this one translated by Dr. York. Adolpha was a being similar to Muhammad, salam alaikum salam, of the Quran. Quran meaning Iqra, read. Quran, Iqra, read. Iqran, Iqra meaning read, to know. Adolpha walked with Elohim. And he walked with some beings, and after a while, after 2 or 3 days, he knew these beings was something different because they didn't eat, they didn't do anything. So he began to ask them to take him on a celestial tour of the universe because he was curious. What they then did was walk with him as I'm reading this ancient text. And as they got by pollen trees, they pulled pollen and threw it into his face. And he looked at it like strange. What the heck are y'all doing? But at that time, he began to sneeze because the pollen made him sneeze. The pollen made him sneeze. And at that time he sneezed, they took his soul and took him on a universal trip through the realms. And thus to this day, when there's certain people that will be allergic to pollen, and thus to this day we say, God bless you when we sneeze. We don't know why. Your heart stops when you sneeze. And your soul is vulnerable to leave your body if any other beings and any other density levels around you and you're not in that vibrational thing. You don't know how to protect your aura. You're not in the know of this neo soul thing that I'm trying to share with y'all to get into tune 432, get into the universal harmonics, know who you are, meditate more, heal yourself more. So they took Adolpha by way of pollen. So to this day, certain of us will be allergic to pollen and we'll sneeze, and we always must be mindful to thank the solar gods. Because in sneezing, your heart stops or your soul could be captured, as Adolpha's was. But they guided his soul through the realms to show him the technology and the sciences. There was an angel up there, let's just say, who laughed at him and didn't want the human up there. That bothered Adolpha so much and laughed at him so much till the archangel Michael, Melchizedek, Melchizedek, whoever you want to call him, came down from his realms and ordered this angel that was laughing at Adolpha to live cycles of a human life. And when he did, to live cycles of a human life, he came back to those realms and offered an apology because he understood now what Adolpha had to go through. So thus was the first apology that came in the skies, the galactical skies. An actual angel apologized to Melchizedek and to Adolpha. So thus man should have it in him to be able to apologize, not be sorry, to be apologetic for something you think you might have done wrong. That's the secrets of Adolpha. Another story that I remember reading, it's about a little girl in a limousine in all black. You could picture white, green, blue, or brown. And she's on her way to a funeral. Her mother passed. She's burying her mother. She's on her way to the funeral. On her way to this funeral, they stop at a light, the limousine, and the girl is looking out the limousine. It's not a limousine, it's an ancient story, so she could be on a horse or some shit. I'm just get the moral of the story. And she's looking at a pigeon that's kind of tangled, look like his wing is flapped down. This little girl jumps out the limousine, runs, almost gets hit by a car. You hear traffic. Limousine driver pull over. The other people that's with the limousine service all pull over and run after this little girl. By the time they get to her, she's unfolding or unbending the wing of the bird and freeing the bird from its capture. And she even said a little prayer over the bird, and then she set the bird free and watched the bird go out into the atmosphere, free, doing what it was here in nature to do. Everybody asked her, listen, little girl, your mother has passed. We're on our way to her funeral. Why would you stop and get a pigeon, do something, make yourself late for your mother's funeral? And they didn't. And the little girl merely looked at them, and she said to them, She said, is it logical to rush to the dead and pass by the living? See, again, people rush to death. And she understood that her mother is, for now, no more. But life is over here in the form of a pigeon or whatever. It's life. And you can help and assist that life. A lot of y'all spend time mourning. Good morning. First thing y'all say in the morning, good morning. Satan was the son of the morning. His father mourned at him and his sons fighting. Mourning is nothing good about going to a funeral and mourn. Some of you people premeditate mourning. You have days where you're going to go and think about your dead mother, your dead father, your dead this, your dead that, and put on these old records and cry yourself to, and you're getting interrupted by demonic spirits then because you're vulnerable and you're going back to the dead and you're living in the dead. A lot of us go to a lot of funerals. How many funerals y'all done been to last year, this year? Y'all surround yourself by death. How many of y'all know Jesus is supposed to be dead, but got his name or face on your body, tattooed on your body, the dead? How many of you got a cross dangling from your neck with Jesus, and that's supposed to be his death? If you had a child or a friend that got killed in a car accident, why don't you go buy a car and tell the jeweler this is how your friend looked, to form him in that car being slain and wear that on your neck. It's the same thing. It's death. You people deal with death. All right? There's another group of people. Let me remind myself. Group of ancient tribes, African tribes, that I read about, that they kill you. They kill what they would call beings that wasn't using their energy right or whatever. Put them on the table, kill them. Cut their heart out while it's still pumping and fresh in the kill, and then feed off of their heart and let that energy from that person get into them to multiply them. That's what they do. They eat hearts. Okay? It's not a form of voodoo. Voodoo is just a spiritual system that we've been taught wrong. Voodoo is a spiritual system. Nothing wrong with voodoo if practiced right. But I'm not talking about eating hearts. But there's a system of beings that eat hearts, because when you die right away, and you die with an excitement, your heart is pumping. And that blood is just great to some people for frequencies. You can use, that's why it's child sacrifice, because you're scared the shit out of a child, then kill him. The blood is high in frequency. You can make a higher contact in your ritual, in your blood circle. You make the circle, and you do everything from out of that circle. That's what that's all about. A lot of buildings y'all walk in, FBI buildings, I don't care, whatever, you right in the format is a circle. You're not supposed to walk across those circles. Walk around them. All right. All right, there's another tribe that I read about that only had sex with each other. Only with each other. They only did it with each other. I don't give a fuck. The mother might have sex with the son later on. The son might have sex with his sister, this, that, all to keep the seed strong. And no baby was coming out retarded. It's like when you hear Spanish people have sex with their first cousins, you don't hear the baby coming out retarded. That's something they taught y'all, to not stay in your seed. So if you think you can't have sex with, let's say, your first cousin, which is sick, let's not get into that. But I'm telling you, these are ancient practices, even on down to Osiris and Isis being brothers and sisters. All right? Must have something to do with the seed and that royal seed, that bloodline. Okay? Another beings that I read about today. You can find these beings today in Tibet and secret places, not secret places, but remote places. Let me just say that. Remote places. These beings are called breatharians or breatharians. They do not eat food. They have not eaten food for many, many years. They breathe the oxygen and live off the air and live off the inner them. They're inside of them. And they need nothing from that. They're absent of the outside world. They are your solar beings today that we can go to for guidance. They're your shamans and everything. They don't shit. They don't fart. They don't burp. I'm being for real. These are breatharians. And ask yourself, if Jesus was God when he was here, why we never heard a shit story? Did Jesus, he never take a shit? He never took a piss? He drunk some goddamn wine, or he sat down and had a supper or a meal. All right, did he shit? Did Adam and Eve shit? Where's the shit story? Where's the bathroom story? You understand? If you can merely watch these women, what they're eating, and know what their vaginas are going to smell like. All this Mexican food she out there drinking, you know what their vagina is going to smell like just by their diets. Just by these bitches out here drinking beers, smoking cigarettes. You got Mexican food this week. You got pizza today. You got this you eat. You got that. That has a lot to do with your inner you and how that smell is going to come out. It has nothing to do with you washing up because you got in the tub, because half of y'all don't get in the tub and do your canal. So let me not get off on that. But I judge women on their food alone. I'ma know how, if you got a dude, he's sitting there drinking beer all day, and y'all gonna spend the night together, you know he gonna have to be passing gas all night. You're gonna know what his shit got to smell. It got to stink, because you are what you eat. If you eating lettuce, proper stuff, fruits and all that, your bathroom smell ain't gonna be that crazy. I'm telling y'all. That's not, I want to get into that, but that's for real. So I watch even what these women eat. You're in a club one day, you at work all day, microwaving food, eating this junk food, candy and all that. It's gonna come out in your vagina. You are what you eat, sister. You're gonna smell like what you eat. All right, so that's just some things I wanted to go over, y'all. Black and white magic, I was touching on. It's nothing wrong with white magic. Y'all gotta understand what's going on with white magic. That's tapping into the pure source when you're tapping into white magic. Black magic turns it dark. Black magic is the manipulation of the sciences of the elements that you would know, the sciences of healing, the things that you would know to do to heal people. Today, a lot of people are being dumbed down because I'm gonna tell you, the planet is being sprayed, the atmosphere is being sprayed with chemical substances. We call it chemtrails. Well, it's leaving chemical trails in the air that's contaminating and affecting and radiating us today. So the result is people begin to lie, people begin to steal, people can't keep their word. Your supervisor don't know what the fuck they doing. Everybody's being mixed up. You're talking direct to people, they're not getting it. Or just look at them and just say, chemtrails, huh? You're being affected because you can't follow what I'm saying. You got to repeat yourself nowadays. Look at the children, how dumb they are. Y'all ride the bus or this, that. Look how dumbed down the earth is. It's the cell phones. It's the microwave food. The water is contaminated because if you're putting chemtrails in the atmosphere and it's rain, the rain has to now travel through chemicals before it's even hitting the earth. So the reservoirs is being contaminated now. Keep telling y'all distilled water is the only way out. If you drinking water from your pipes, ask yourself, how long have these pipes been here that my water is flowing through? Ask yourself about how pipes rust, how many years it takes to rust, and how much it could be giving off to your water before you put it in a glass. Do your science, not research. Do your science of rusting, of metal that rusts. You just as well could put gold plumbing, 10-karat gold plumbing for your water to run through. It's not that expensive. It's definitely not that expensive. But y'all are going to too many funerals, and y'all are dealing with too much death. And we're just dealing with too much death. And that's just the truth. Too many funerals, and we're dealing with too much death. And we need to stop going to all of these funerals and find another way to just celebrate the passing of our people, because it's the hospitals that's killing them. All right? The hospitals killed your mother, father, sister, brother, friend, uncle, whoever, cousin that went to that hospital, and y'all know it. Our parents or whoever be all right until we send them to the hospital, then they got extra shit wrong with them. Next thing you know, they dead. And you know, if your mother or aunt or somebody would have just stayed in the house, they would be right there, a little sick, but they would have been all right. You get to these hospitals where that's all contaminated, and they're giving y'all stuff that's further killing you. MRIs, X-ray machines, chemotherapy, all of those are the machines that's killing you. Then they're trying to check to see if you're all right. You need to learn natural resources and how to take care of yourself and stop going to these doctors. What do you think healthcare, they made it easy for you for? Yeah, carry your ass to us so we can kill you. And the death rate is up. And I was talking to a female friend that put me on to the fact that the number of graduates of black women has risen in America. Black women are graduating from college at a high rate. Yet 70% of all college graduates become waitresses. You can graduate, that don't mean you guaranteed a job anymore because the economy is changing. So y'all have to understand what's going on around you. I just wanted to share with y'all a few things. When you study for a long time, you got a lot of stories, or not stories, excuse me, ancient texts or writings in your brain It just don't go nowhere. So I have a lot of stuff that I can share with y'all. I do it. I distribute my intellect in raptors. I give you a lot. They give you a little bit. They ease some on you. And it's nothing to believe. Never believe me. Just listen to me and see if my logic fits with you. And understand that it's just about knowing things, making the right decision, and building your own galaxy. Also want to apologize because I do turn down a lot of events that's labeled black this or Afro punk this or African American movement. I'm not in a black movement. I'm not a racist. I'm not into, I don't want to join anybody that say, look what the white man doing, or yeah, we better, or this or that. I don't invite y'all to search for intellect, to hate, to search to see that black people was better. No, you're just searching out of curiosity for all kinds of truth, all kinds of experiences other people had, and see what you can do to induct it into your thing and what you're doing to better yourself. So I apologize for not going to these or being invited and turning down these black movements. Afro punk, come speak here. I don't do the Afro thing. The civil rights movement was paid for and backed by Jews. I don't know who you people are backed by. I love the Conscious Nation. They're my brothers, but I'm not a part of it. I'm not a part of a group of brothers getting together finally for wisdom and intellect. And now it's a battle and arguing. I'm not battling with nobody. I'm not going to nowhere to break nobody down. I'm not right and everybody's not wrong. I'm not wrong and everybody is not right. I don't want to come off that way. I don't want to come off as my brothers, the Israelites. I don't want to come off as any of my brothers whom I love in the Conscious Nation, but I don't want to be put with that sect of people who try to prove people wrong. I could be in this 30, 40 years, and I'm never going to tell nobody they're right or wrong. I'm going to thank you for trying to bring wisdom and enlightenment to the table without an argument. I didn't get this far to debate or argue with anybody. I speak the truth. I don't tell you to believe me. I just tell you I speak truth. Okay? I speak truth. You can't go in none of my shows and find lies. I'm putting you right in the ballpark. There's nothing off on my knowledge or my enlightenment. I might have some wordings wrong. Your brother, you kind of said this wrong. You was talking fast, something like that. But you in that ballpark. You can go through any of my shows. Anything I share with y'all, you can go research it, look forward, search it, look, and you're going to see it's there. I didn't tell you to believe it. I'm telling you to check it out. Don't believe nothing that comes out of my mouth. But I speak the truth. And what it's going to do, it's going to physically attract you. You're going to know this is the truth. You're going to feel it. You don't have to go checking, but stop thinking you got to go to a dictionary to the white man. Oh, we find that out. Who you